Hey everyone, welcome to another week, and this is week 6, and the spirit called this week the stairs. So what's actually interesting about this week is that spirit gave me the symbol for the week during a dream. And I had a dream about what this week meant, and I also had a dream about filming the video for it, and that's where the spirit gave me the symbol of the stairs. So when we think about stairs, what do we think about? We think about the fact that they take us somewhere. We think about the fact that it takes us some energy to actually walk upstairs. And until we really see where the stairs lead to, we often don't have any idea what the destination or where the destination truly is. So that's pretty much what this week was about. It was about ascending towards something, but we probably had no idea where that destination truly was. So let's have a look at what the cards were. So the very first card of the week was blocked spiritual gifts. So this at the start of the week was really letting us know that the spirit was going to turn off our spiritual gifts like intuition, foresight, perhaps even healing, precognition, anything ethereal, energetic. The spirit was going to really turn it off so that we could focus on what we were doing without being distracted by anything extrasensorial. So that at the start of the week was really saying that the week's experience was going to be solely focused upon us, so that we can refine our own path and where we were going to go as we took the steps that the spirit was laying out in front of us. Next card. So the next card which came to us was the lung. Whenever the lungs appears, it's spirit's way of saying that we need to breathe better, whether that means deeper, whether that means in a more connected way, but essentially the lungs represent our capacity to absorb or draw in our zest or our zeal for life. And so when this card was present after spiritual gifts, it was really saying that this week was probably going to take a bit of a toll on us, not just energetically, but probably physical as well. So the body really needed to be looked after. We needed to listen to what our body needed. And just like if you went to the gym, you wouldn't keep on going past the point that you couldn't breathe. So similarly, that's what this card was. It was really there to remind you to be able to give yourself the rest that you required, and that rest was necessary and absolutely fine. You weren't going to knock yourself off track by taking a moment to breathe. And by breathing, it reduces everything like stress, anxiety, disconnection. When you breathe in, you ground yourself and you connect yourself to the universe. Next card. And so the next card that came was Leo. So this card in the center of the week was really prompting us to be able to say, okay, what do I want to show the world? Because the Leo loves a stage, but the Leo also requires a really reliable and loyal pack. And so this was saying, do you have the people around you that nurture you and give you positive feedback and give you constructive feedback? Because that's really the crucial and critical part of this message in the middle of the week. It was really asking us to look at the people around you to make sure that they manifest, they reflect, they're connected to, they support wherever you want to go. Again, it's all about these stairs. Wherever the stairs are going to take you, are the people around you really encouraging that path or that destination? And if they're not, perhaps it's time to make a bit of an adjustment. Next card, and this card is, there is much going on behind the scenes, don't worry, it will clear up soon. And whenever this card is present, it's always a sign that so much is shifting around you right now, and you're not going to know what is going on. And especially during a Mercury retrograde, when there is so much shifting and shuffling occurring, a lot of things aren't clear. And so it's important to understand that Spirit wanted you to know that even though you're not going to be aware of everything that's transpiring for your benefit, it's happening nonetheless. And so by really just accepting the fact that a lot is changing around you, and that's perfectly fine, but you'll be told soon enough. But in the meantime, you're not going to give yourself stress or anxiety about it. That's really the critical and important and the major lesson that this card was giving. Next card, and the next card is spiritual changes. Whenever spiritual changes is apparent, it's obvious that there's so much affecting you through the course of these changes that you're undergoing, that the very spiritual force that you are created with is also adjusting itself. And so personally, what this means is that every single layer of your life is going to feel this change, because the spiritual body that inhabits you affects the mental, the intellectual, the emotional, and the physical body. So when all of those bodies are built upon the spiritual body, and we see a card like spiritual changes, it's a sign that everything in you is getting pulled in various different ways. And it's important for you to just accept the fact that right now you're not going to have 100% control, and that's going to be okay. But through the course of every single other message that we had this week, it was really saying that it was important for you just to take the next step in front of you. Just as if you were walking upstairs, you're not really going to leap across multiple stairs every single time. Perhaps at the start you do, but then you realize that you're going to require more energy to just get through all of them, and so you reduce it down to one step at a time. Similarly, that's what this message had for you, to be able just to take one step at a time and not to rush the process, because the process has its own pace, and the pace will be perfect. Don't stress the timing. And the next card is a conflict will come, don't buy into it. Whenever this card is present, it's always a sign that when these changes occur and they demand so much and they create so much friction and they adjust our boundaries with people, and their boundaries also adjust as well, it's very easy for tempers and aggression and angst to flare. And in those moments, it would be very simple for you to jump into a conflict. And it could be as simple as something as irrelevant as where you put the milk back in the fridge. It doesn't really matter what the topic is. It's always just foretelling that the energy is really, really perfect for some kind of conflict. So it's important for you to really pick and choose your battles at this moment and not to get bought into games just for the sake of conflict. So essentially, Spirit was saying, don't buy into it. It's unnecessary. If you do, you're just going to be wasting your time and energy, because whatever the conflict is, it will resolve itself without you needing to go to war. And so the last card of the week is Picture Magic. And whenever this card is present, it's Spirit's way of prompting you to take the lead in creating what you want in your life through the process of picture magic. And a very simplified version that we see of this is actually a vision board. And so you may have done this for yourself. It's where you take images or symbology that reflects what you want to manifest in your life, whether it's subconscious or conscious. And then by creating it, you see that energy amplified and reflected into the physical. And so this takes it a step further. And with picture magic, what you're essentially doing is creating exactly what you want. And so you take this even further, because you might do things like light a specific incense, because you know that if you burn frankincense, it creates a sacred space. Or it might be that you burn sage, because part of the picture you're creating is all about releasing the old and outdated from your life. Or you might burn rose, because you're drawing something to do with love and you're calling in the beloved. Whatever avenue and whatever manifestation you want in your life, you take it a step further from just finding an image, and then you link it with extra things: burning a candle, lighting incense, essential oils. However you feel drawn to do it, that is the process for you specifically. But essentially, picture magic, the more that you create of it yourself, instead of just finding a picture and gluing it in, instead taking the time to draw it with a pen, with your hand, and consciously working on every single line and applying your intention and focus and your wish to it. That's really the difference, to take it from one simple thing like a vision board, which has amazing results, into something truly magical and divine that can do some phenomenal and amazing results. So they were the cards of the week. And so when we look at all of those in reflection of the symbol, which was the stairs, it was essentially Spirit's way of saying that you're not necessarily going to be able to keenly see where you're being led right now. Again, it seems to be a little bit of a theme for 2015 in the early stages, but don't worry, that's not going to occur forever. And then at the end of the week, it was really reminding you to then invest energy into what you want, because you have the capacity to use magic to create your life in the way in which is destined. So Spirit had both bits of advice for you. One, that you may not have true clarity about what's going on, but two, be invested and involved in the process, because Spirit is listening and working with you in every single moment. So that was your week for you. I hope you enjoyed these messages. If you relate to one of these, or if you've got any questions, please leave a message in the comments down below. And if you haven't already, give this video a thumbs up so that I know that you enjoyed it. And if you could share this video with your friends or anyone you think that may benefit, that will do me a great favor as well. And if you haven't already, feel free to follow me on Instagram, which is where you'll see the God of the Day, and then on Twitter, where you'll receive a mantra of the day, and then on Facebook, where you'll not only receive the cards that I've been talking about, but you'll also receive at the end of the day a musing of the day, which is essentially my reflection on the energy and any last messages that Spirit wants you to know about that particular day. So thank you so much for watching. My name's Todd Savvas, and may the magic always find you.